Hi, Mary Ellen and Tom. Ryan Sheffer here, PJ Professional at Monarch Beach Golf Links, here with a video review from your most recent golf lesson. So I'm starting here with Mary Ellen, and what I want to talk about is a little bit of what's going on here in the swing. So first thing is that our shoulders tend to be a little bit open, meaning that they're pointing a little left. So what we want to do is try to focus on getting the left shoulder feeling like it's more out towards the right. That would be the first place to start. The next thing to take a look at here is the swing path. So I'm going to draw a line up the shaft, another one near the elbow, and what we'll take a look at is what's going on here in the swing. So as we swing back, overall pretty decent there. I'd like to see a little bit more hip turn going back, and on the way down, you'll see that the club gets outside there of that swing plane, and it swings left. And then because of that, you'll see your left elbow kind of coming across your body, and you get this like chicken wing type look is how I would phrase that. Now, in general, we're doing a much better job. What I like is that this back foot's coming off the ground. That's really good. We want to continue to work on that. Remember, trying to get more of that full body turn so that we're facing the target in the finish. So things to work on. What I'd recommend doing, if I rewind this at the beginning, what I would do is place a head cover on the ground. And what you would want to have this head cover do is kind of be angled slightly kind of in this direction, where we do that kind of more like that. So the objective would be not to whack the head cover. You could also do this with a towel. What you're trying to visualize essentially is that your club path on the downswing would be almost feeling like you're swinging out that direction. You can see here, if I just draw a couple arrows, right now you're aiming kind of right out here by the bunker. You can see the feet following the same suit there. But then when we watch the ball take off, you'll see it doesn't actually go in that direction. When we hit the ball, it actually takes off left of that. So you're hitting basically poles. And you were telling me that most of your rounds of golf, you're seeing the ball go left. So you can see part of why that's happening. So I really recommend using a towel on the ground just on the right side of the ball, just like I mentioned here a second ago. So again, we would be putting that basically like right in this position right here, and you'd be trying to avoid it. So that would be something to work on between now and our next lesson. Let's now take a look over at what Tom is doing here in the swing. And if we watch on the way back, you're going to see a lot of elbow separation. So right here, if I pause you at the first checkpoint, let's take a look at the right arm, and we'll see how bent that is here at that position. We can see a lot of distance between the elbows as well. So those are things that I'm checking there kind of right off the bat. What I'd recommend doing, if you have, you could use really anything. I know you were talking about having playing a lot of tennis together. So if you, for example, if, let's say you put a tennis ball kind of right in between the two forearms right there, your objective would be to be able to make some swings where you keep that tennis ball between the arms. I wouldn't make very long swings with this. This would be more of like little half swings, maybe swinging no higher than chest high. But it would be a really good feel for you to get a little bit of a better understanding of not using so much of the arms and learning to use more of the bigger muscles in the swing. So that would be my first thing for you to take away. As we start to the top here, we can see a lot of the arms basically coming really close to the body. So what I mean by that is if you look at the arm here, you'll see how it's basically bending quite a bit. We want to get that a little bit more extended away from the chest. So again, that tennis ball drill would be a really good exercise to help you. If you wanted to use a larger ball, you'd welcome to do that. You could use something like a tennis ball or a volleyball or a soccer ball or basketball. That would work as well. But a tennis ball would work just fine. So some food for thought there, things to work on. In this next clip, we're going to take a look at a video that we put together at the end of the lesson where I tried to summarize essentially everything that we tried to cover in the lesson. So let's jump right into that.
All right, Tom and Mary Ellen, we're going to talk about what we did today so far. So for Mary Ellen, I'm going to start with you. The first thing that I noticed is I'm going to use this stick as a shoulder alignment. In general, when you swing back, you actually don't really turn the shoulders that much. You're actually using just arms mostly. And when you come back, you'll start to turn really well, which you're doing better, but then that sends the club more above the swing path, which we're going to include in the video I'll send you. And then the club will end up swinging left, and that's why you're seeing a lot of your balls right now go left. However, on a positive note, you're doing a much better job of turning through the shot. I can even see that you're getting a little faster with it, so I can see more club head speed. That's why on hole 3 today, you actually hit that 7-iron over the green, right? You're hitting it a little longer, so that's good. For Tom, some things that we worked on. So at the driving range, what we noticed, I'll do this from this perspective. If you watch my bill on my cap, when you were set up, your bill was like that. So we want it to be kind of even with the center of where the ball would be.
Right.
So you were set up that way. And what that does is it can kind of throw off some of the path as well. So what I told you to do was, instead of the bill being over here, kind of move it back like that. The feeling was taking the right ear and kind of pulling it back towards the shoulder And then what that would do for you is it created more of this in to out pattern. Now the next thing that we talked about in the lesson for you, Tom, was the arms. There's a tendency really for you to kind of use a lot of arms and let the elbows separate. So you can see how like I just started the lawnmower, right? I want to keep this to where when I swing back, these elbows are close together and I'm basically just swinging more with like my chest. I want to use the bigger muscles. Like if I was holding a medicine ball and I just rotate, that's the sensation. That way you're not really relying on your arms to time everything. It's all just a rotation back and through, and it will become a lot simpler for you. The last thing to mention, Tom, was on your wedges today, we saw a lot of a tendency to kind of hang back and blade them. They weren't getting airborne. They were staying really low. So to help you with that, what we want to do is with your back foot, when you come through, you want to release the bug, right? You were squishing that bug. You were doing that, right? We want to get off of that bug. So those are the things to work on. Definitely enjoying working with you guys and hope you enjoyed the video.